I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Debate night number 7. Yeah, so this is usually the show that we come up when we're running behind. We really don't know what to do, so we're just going to debate a bunch of random shit, and we're not going to talk about fantasy baseball, so it's perfect week.
So speaking about fantasy baseball, how did everything go last week?
It's great. Sports are amazing.
Ty
I'm
is
so
really
invested.
good at fantasy.
I like how Ryan ROC gave me some rule tips the last day that we played each other.
That's usually how it works, yep.
What kind of tips? What kind of tips did he give you?
Well, apparently when you have a player on the IL, that you can move him to the IL spot of your roster,
Yes,
and then you can pick up new players while they're on IL.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Holy crap!
Am I
that's like
freezing up?
101.
Oh,
No.
you're good. You're good.
No,
Just incredibly
just
slow.
processing.
Oh,
that.
good. Oh, good. Just the way you guys said that, it was like, yeah, you should know. Oh, thanks, guys. Rule 101. I guess there should have been some rule sheets beforehand, eh? Yeah.
Matt Houston,
No, apparently,
we're sorry.
if you have a guy on the IL, that you have a. Yeah.
Don't
So I picked
apologize.
up a
We're
couple
not
new guys,
sorry.
but on the last day that I played him. So, yeah.
This is who we are.
Yeah.
Accept us for who we are.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll
I
always
was
be
just
behind.
telling Carrie about how great I felt, and we lost track of time, and it's okay. I'm really good at sports. That's what matters.
I had Kevin Gossman from the Blue Jays on Monday night, and he got lit up. So my ERA is not good this week. I'm
I had him in
definitely
one of my-
losing that category.
Yeah, I had one too, and it was not good. Not good at all.
Hey, you know the good thing about today? I have Breos versus Garcia, so I got a winning pitcher. So
Maybe.
hopefully,
Not
maybe,
necessarily.
maybe.
Garcia
I'll get a
looks
quality start out of it, probably.
Maybe. Or they both get lit up.
No, they're both good. They're both good.
Garcia looks good right now.
Yeah, first 4 batters he struck out. I'm like, oh, Blue Jays are on a
6.
roll right now.
It was first 6 outs or strikes. Outs, yeah.
All 6 were.
Yeah, all first 6, yeah.
Well, my K stat is going way up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Twice
that's
I've had
enough
a guy
fantasy
that's
baseball.
gone like 6 innings with no hit. Yeah.
6 innings with
And didn't even have him in the lineup.
Hey, who has Scherzer? That's great too, eh?
Oh, Jesus.
10-game suspension.
Yeah.
But that's only 2 starts. That's really,
That's fair. Yeah.
yeah. People think it's a big deal. It's like, dude, that's 2 starts. Like, like somebody gets in a brawl,
Yeah.
first baseman punches one guy out, he's out for 15 games. Reliever, you might as well get your reliever to be a goon out there. I mean, they pitch
Yeah.
every second or third day. It's really not hurting anybody, right?
So you're just telling them they should have pine tar all the time, or?
Well, if you're gonna have a goon on your team, it better be your reliever, right? Because he's gonna miss less time than a position player. That's what I'd be looking at.
The hard part with like Scherzer being out for 2 games though is that is really hard on your bullpen. I mean, you might bring a guy up, you might not. You might have a bullpen day, and then all of a sudden you can't use them for 2 days.
The Mets will buy somebody else at this point. It's A-okay. Like, you know what? If I had somebody that was going to be a goon on my team, I'd get John Rocker in a heartbeat. That guy would knock anybody out. Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Yeah, Vladdy struck out today on a time violation. Couldn't happen to a hotter batter right at the moment.
Yeah. He looked in disbelief, but that's okay.
I read something about a game being done in like 2 hours the other day.
An hour and 57,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with the pitch clock and stuff like that, but I don't know whether it's just because I actually love baseball that I was okay with 3-hour games. That didn't bother me. Especially going to the games. It goes by so fast when you're in there. I went to one game one time, and it was a 2-hour game. It was a pitching duel. It was like 1-0, and we were in and out, and it was over really quick. And it's like, man, like I love baseball, and it was just done.
Two things about baseball that I enjoy being longer, and I'm okay with the pace of play.
Go ahead, Tim. Your turn.
Yeah, no problem. One is beer. You have more time for beer. Now you're losing beer in beer lines. And 2, if you're at home watching the game, you can take a shit between innings, and you still have time to get back in time.
Yeah.
Now you don't. Now you don't.
15 seconds, bury you off the pot.
I know.
Yeah, drop
They're
it.
talking about the 7th inning stretch being moved to the 8th inning now, so they're moving beer sales a little bit later.
That's the most
They
important
don't have a
part.
choice.
It's a true proprietor only worried about his beer.
That's right.
No, I'm just as an alcoholic, but as MLB is talking about for minor league baseball right now, they're testing out is you're going to have a designated pinch runner. So what they're trying to do now is, so you have a guy on your bench who's your designated pinch runner. You can pinch run him anytime or how many times you need to or X amount, but he doesn't go across. He doesn't get struck out off your bench.
That's terrible.
That's dumb. I thought maybe for the catcher, if the catcher is like within an out, they'll like in slow pitch and
pitch?
stuff like that, you can do that. You'll have a pinch runner for your catcher or your pitcher, sorry.
Yeah.
But for catcher, because all the equipment and stuff like that. But just to speed up the game. But that's absolutely dumb.
At what point are we speeding it up too much? Seriously.
I don't
They
know,
were
Dexter.
worried-
Let's talk about your bowling.
Oh.
No! This is a debate night, not a, like, I'm gonna go outside and, like, jump off my balcony night. Let's avoid that, shall we?
But that's why you have 5 other people on your team, Dex.
Yeah, no. Team was fantastic. I was not.
They were talking about starting pitchers actually getting gassed because they had to pitch so fast.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it's worked out in the favor. The pitchers are actually going longer into the games.
Yeah.
Starting pitching's actually been really good.
If we kind of on topic with this, I had a gentleman come in this week, or is it this week or last week, and proceeded to tell me that slow play is what's ruining 5-pin bowling. Shall we talk about that? It's debate night. Shall we talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk
There is
about it.
there is one player that got a lot slower.
Yes, you're right. There was, for sure. And you know what?
Medium kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, medium.
I'm obviously a guy that likes to play fast.
Like
I like to play
drastically
fast.
slower. Yeah.
He did. He definitely got slower. I can tell you right now with 100% certainty that there was no gamesmanship with that at all. It was and I had been asked that question, and I can tell you straight up, 100%, it was just trying to settle himself. That's just trying to get into that rhythm and try to settle him. No gamesmanship with it, but it was slow.
Right, but where is the limit in order to settle yourself down?
And I agree. I completely agree. I am kind of a fan of the idea of speeding up the pace of play. We can't be having an hour and 10-minute games. You just can't. Hey, how about I actually finish a statement without you cutting me off? How does that sound?
I gotta separate you two.
I was just going to say that.
Holy. I am a favor. There's been certain situations in some of the cash tournaments too where it does get exceptionally slow. Thank you. Hey, that's all right. Where it does get exceptionally slow. There was one Autumn Open where I was certainly frustrated with it. So I am okay with that idea. I do believe, however, that there are situations where let the guy just have the time. And this individual vehemently disagreed with me, saying that no matter what, no, go. Baseball doesn't just go, and that's wrong. Baseball doesn't just do that. Baseball, you do have the pitch clock, but each pitcher and your batter both have an opportunity to have one timeout for every at bat. All I'm saying is if you're on the line and you're out there to win a national medal, and you know what, you need a second to breathe and get ready, use your discretion and go ahead and do that. It doesn't have to be every ball, but there needs to be some give and take with it.
So I'll give a little bit of reference before, Tim, you make your point, was the men's team from Edmonton was playing. Do you guys remember which game that was? Or who you were playing?
It was second
There
last
was a
game.
lot of them.
It was playing North, right?
North
I don't know
or
which
South?
game it was.
It was second last
I think
game,
you guys
though.
were playing
Second
North.
last game was South because
Yeah,
we
South then.
trashed 8, 9, 10 and we didn't take enough points.
It
No,
definitely...
but Brad
I think
banged
it
out
would've
for
been
those
North.
points.
Yeah. But anyways, me and Brett Mapstone, we're playing mixed division, not very important. We're way down on the far end. And even Brett Mapstone's like, how long is this taking? So we started a time clock. And it was 1:16 from the opposing player delivering their ball till the Edmonton player threw their ball.
Just
A
say
minute
his name.
16.
Just say his name.
Medium Tit Kat.
And you know that person is playing slow when Weber looks fucking fast.
Yeah.
So here,
Did you guys ask him why? Like, what's he doing? Like, is it just something that he just picked up lately? He just really wants to
He was
ground.
throwing lots of strikes.
Yeah.
He was throwing a boatload of strikes. I wasn't asking him shit. He was playing great.
He did say
Yeah.
at one point it was his timing, and so for him to fix that timing, he had to take more time. Like, I don't know how many of you guys watched Brad Bowl. He sits on the lane and he wiggles his elbow and he rocks a little bit, right? And that's what he had to do. For him to throw a good shot, which we needed as a team, we needed him to do, he had to take the more time. I agree there's a benefit to playing faster. I think that there's a line. But in that moment, that's what we needed to go to nationals. I'm not going to tell him no.
Exactly. 100%.
People also, okay, I'll say my piece here. Edmonton men's is always slow. And we have a motto saying the pace of play is us.
Okay.
So
Hold
anyway,
on.
no. Let me finish here.
Dexter, let him say his point, bud.
Nobody's ever made that as a motto.
Me and Weber. So you haven't been on the men's team for a few years. So, but what I'm saying is, we always said that we're the pace of play. Because Weber's on the team or whoever is on the team, we'll take our own time, how much we need, in order to be prepared. Now, so absolutely, we're probably the worst verdicts out there. There's no doubt about it, right? But yes, again, but then you also mix in Robert Tompkins, and I love Robert. So you put those situations together, it's a fucking disaster. Okay,
I was bad, so I wasn't balancing.
I was gonna say, in defense of the Edmonton men's, it would have balanced out if we had Dexter and me, but Dexter didn't bowl.
Yeah.
So.
And Kemp's pretty fast. Kemp's
pretty quick,
Yeah.
Kemp's pretty quick. I just it is what it is. But I do think
so. The debate is: do any of you feel that there should be a time period?
I think there is, except in 10. I think 10th frame is a different.
I guess my question is, when it comes to a cash tournament, and if you were playing, say, the Autumn Open, and you're in the finals, and you got a 15 games to play here, if he's taking a minute 10 between every shot, you're going to have Dex and Taylor Michelle waiting for 20 minutes before the next game starts.
So
you're right. At what point in time does somebody need to say, listen, we're not putting a clock, but you got to speed shit up, bro?
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of my point too. Is that, like, I've been in that situation, and I was frustrated, and, like, I love this man to death, but Kevin Holdsworth won Autumn Open, I could have murdered him. I could have absolutely murdered him because
Bobby
I literally waited.
Shh. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I literally waited.
You guys have to mute
minutes
each other when you're talking, because
in between every single game in the 16s with time, because he was really taking his time. 25 minutes in between each game, and it was one-on-one matches.
So Jim, they did this. There's chess clocks. The issue they ran into is they were losing chess clocks faster than they could replace them because players were pouty that they didn't remember to hit the buttons. So there should, I agree, I one-on-one matches, a chess clock makes perfect sense. It's your fault if you miss the chess clock. You should get a fine or whatever. I think they should bring that back, but that's me.
Honestly, I'm not against it.
I think going back to the original question is pace of play or is slow bowling ruining bowling? I don't think so. I would flip it the other way. I would say that faster bowling could make bowling more exciting, but I don't think it's ruining.
I think it's ruining schedules and times.
I don't make any of those, so that's not my problem.
The singles being 2 hours back is really bad, right? Now, here's another topic, okay, we can talk about. Edmonton men's wins, right? If we lose, is there anything we talk about?
Oh,
right?
I think so.
No, I disagree. I think there's two trains of thought.
I think it's still an issue, but
they talk about it, or two, they don't bring it up and be like, Fuck, that was slow. Man, those guys who didn't even win are a bunch of idiots taking forever.
I think,
that's how it would be.
I think the conversation still happens. It happened last year as well.
Yeah.
Right?
It did.
It's part of it, and I get it. But I think slow bowling is ruining the game? No. I think there are far bigger things in the game that are detrimental than slow play.
I think slow play is one of the biggest issues, though.
I think it's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? So if we have like an hour set for each of these matches, why couldn't you do a chess clock situation for team format? Right? You have 30 minutes. Each team, you have 30 minutes to play your game, and it's after they come off the lane, they hit the chess clock. The next player starts. The only problem you could run into is it's not always ball for ball and stuff like that.
It should be the coach.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're in a singles match, you could delegate somebody to make sure they press the clock for you. You know?
Yeah. The only problem is then you could have people quick on the trigger and stuff like that. Where if it's a physical bowler, like you can't be quick on the trigger. You literally have to come off the approach and hit it.
Yeah.
I think Jeff England should figure out a system for us.
Yeah, come on, Jeff.
Does this... it's weird thought. Does this affect celebrations on the lane? Because again, going back to Brad, he spends a chunk of time cheering, screaming, fist pumps.
Yeah.
Now you have to get back to that chess clock to hit it.
Yeah, that's your decision to take that extra time out there to cheer.
Okay.
I guess we got to get in shape and run off the lanes and do it in the pit.
Bowling is not a cardio sport. That's why I do it.
The chess clock wasn't like
I don't know. I watched you running on the spot time
either, right? The chess clocks weren't like, it wasn't like you were gonna run out of time. It was just if you forgot to fucking hit the button, that's when you ran into trouble. But
do you know what the time limit was given on that?
I thought it was like 25 minutes a game, but between two players. So that's 12 and a half minutes to throw your game. That's lots. Somebody will correct me in there. I didn't play KG when the chess clock was in effect, so
I remember watching it, and I remember watching the clock get smashed, and I being there and seeing it on that Sunday, right? And a clock being used, and it just eventually one got sent flying 30 feet in the air, right? Like,
yeah.
So we need
I guess we're done with using our chess clocks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
It's a touchy subject. I mean, the curling idea is an idea. I mean, I guess like we said, going back to the original question, defining, is it really killing this play, right? Is it really, or are we just making something out of nothing? Although it is certainly a topic of conversation that people should be aware of.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think it's.
I don't know how you
just
enforce
because
it.
you have players already talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Tell you
it's
what,
certainly not nothing, but what are you going to do about it? Jeez, I don't know, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, it's different what in team play or in singles now, or in tournament play. Let's say tournament play, but really, what screwed up timing and league play altogether is computer scoring.
Yeah,
because
you would have thought that it would make it faster.
Faster, it doesn't. Because nobody's down below. Hey, you're up, or not being paid attention like this, right? Because now they see on the board, I'm going to go over and drink a beer 3 lanes over, right? Yeah. Thanks, Len.
Lenny Anseth coming in as Switzerland here.
It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you got the Len Anseth or the Greg DeGrazia that are making comments, and certainly appreciate it, but they're two of the faster players out there, right? So they've trained themselves to just go. Dexter, you're one of them. Whereas, it'd be interesting to hear from the other side of what does Weber think? What does Bradley think? What do these guys that are taking their time think?
What does Tim think?
On the...
Well,
slow play. Slow play.
Yeah, because you ain't quick either.
Honestly, I'll take my fucking time. Like, whatever it takes to do, it's you're right. No, that's completely correct there, Greg. Especially during not so much Sunday finals for a tournament, but Saturday, Friday. Yeah. Like, there's no way you should take 7 hours to play a shift, 4 and 4, right? But that being said, I don't think I pick up.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome, Jimmy. Yeah.
Marciano makes a comment here too, right? Not killing the game, but he's also one of the slower players. He's not a super fast player. I wouldn't say that Michael's a fast player by any stretch.
Michael be faster if he actually waited until, maybe threw the ball first, because he always waits until the first person plays.
He does.
Yeah, I'm calling you out, Michael. I already know your game.
Too, right?
Yeah.
He does. He likes to go second. So even if he's first out, like in a league night, he's, if his B and C bowler have thrown strikes and the other team isn't done yet, he'll wait for the A bowler on his opponent to go first. And everybody almost knows it. It's like you gotta, get her going, right? It's you're waiting there, and it's interesting. No, it's a funny topic. And how do you enforce, and what do you do? And everybody's got different times, but.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you look at the PGA. The PGA has, some of it, but it's never enforced. It's never enforced, and
it is now.
It's enforced.
Not often.
Yeah, quite a bit. There's actually stroke penalties every round given out due to slow play.
Did you hear about Patrick Cantley?
When you watch watch somebody going out there to win a tournament.
Yeah, the last groups are given a little leeway.
Yeah, you will see a Tiger walk around that green 17 times to make sure he has it right? So, yeah.
What's our time clock for each conversation?
Here's one actually. With the time clock restock on re-rack. Hey, Edmonton Men's reset every ball. This is perfect. This is a way we.
Is the re-rack becoming an issue? Is the re-rack becoming an issue?
String pin setters. It takes 2 seconds to re-rack. It's fine.
You know what? It's not an issue if when you go up there to grab your ball on the first ball you push the reset. The other player is up ready. It's just you're an idiot if you don't do that. It's just your own fault. Yeah. Idiots.
As somebody that re-racks every time, it takes no time at all.
Yeah, exactly. The pins are reset by the time that I've got to the back of the approach and started to get on the lane.
Of course you say that. Yeah. Now, why do you re-rack every time? Do you do it because the pins are offset, or is it just because it's part of your setup process, or it's part of your routine?
You run into problems where
you got to go and press reset.
You run into problems where the pins are, let's say 75% they're offset because of the player in front of you, so you just reset it every time. Why risk it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with a lot of string machines and in some centers just overall maintenance and stuff too. But you have terrible. So CA1s have a slowdown cycle where it hits the top, it stabilizes, it comes down. There are machines that don't. The Schmidt machines don't always have that too. They don't have the same amount of time to stabilize up top, so those pins are coming down and swinging. You're going to have a 90% better chance of having a good set if you reset it one time.
So I also think the pin resets have been a lot different back in the days maybe when Don was playing. I will say that it was a little bit, the balls were more of a finesse ball. But now you watch people chucking the ball around there, and then they go around, the pins go up like this all the way around, and then when they go up in the buckets like this. They're not going nice and easy. And if you ever watch, if they've been spurned and everything, but it twists. Actually, sometimes the string twists down, and the pin doesn't come down properly either. So that's why I re-rack. I started at Bonnie Doon. Honestly, my whole routine came because of Bonnie Doon, and I will say it's nothing to do with the center when it comes to they can only do so much with outside shoes, right? It's a big center, and so my pre-shot routine is wiping my shoe because we're used to having something on there, and it's not their fault. And at one point, 10 years ago, we had a little bit of tough year of maintenance, and the pin sets were all over the place. So that's why we kind of always did that. Yeah.
I guarantee you, if I play any frames after carry at Masters Nationals, I will be resetting.
Yeah, 100%.
Because those pins fly around so much, there's no way that they're getting fully reset.
Exactly. No. We are at the highest level. You're competing at the biggest tournaments. You want to give yourself every opportunity to succeed, and that starts with having a good set.
I played a YC Provincials with Evan Lecousier, and it was in Red Deer, and I was leaving corners left and right, and I couldn't figure it out. And Len Madarash told me to reset, and maybe I'm crazy, but I noticed a significant difference in results after resetting.
Yeah. Don't give Len that kudos. He doesn't deserve that. So Daryl, so we gave you an answer. Is there anything else you need for us to help you out with your game, or Like, I'm just want to help. Is there anything else we can help you out with?
No, I'm good. I don't.
Okay,
I'm good, but I don't re-rack every time. I've got Don Sims bowling balls from way back, and I'm quite happy with them. So thanks, Don, for that. The RU-78s, the green Cyclones, got the name Sim on there. I can use my fingers to get some spin. But no, I'm good. I'm not emulating my game after you, Tim. So we're good.
Off.
Tim's a real coach now. He's valuable input.
Tim didn't make anything either, so you shouldn't be emulating after him.
Yeah. You know what? I can't bowl, so I coach. Don't worry.
I think I'm going on Tyler's train. You know, I had a good chat with Tyler's employment for. You know, I think there's some thing there, some nutrition, some sports performance, some kinesiology. I think we're on the right track there for Tyler. Whatever he's doing, I'm in.
So you got to subtract like 30 years.
And 80 pounds.
I think it's the 2 kids and the wife that cause most of the problems. Just kidding, Daryl. but
Jeez.
yeah. No, I
certainly don't have a wife, I can tell you that.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, maybe not everything that Tyler's doing.
Yeah.
Do we want to tackle this?
Yeah, thanks,
Parker.
Don, yeah.
I would still use the same set.
Yeah, that's fine for Tim. I wouldn't mind the idea of having 3. You know, if you have a spare ball that you're going to go like a straight ball shooting for corners or whatever, that's fine. And then have 2 balls that you have straight balls if you have a set of them. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think 4 is probably a little bit overkill, but it doesn't really matter when you're in singles. The whole point of that rule in there is just because people had too many balls on the racket, people were getting ball jams. Let's be real. So if it's 1-on-1, I don't think it matters at all. Put as many as you want on there. I don't care.
Yeah, what doesn't matter.
I'm definitely team every ball is the same. If you have 2 soft rolls on the lane, they're the same. If you have 2 star lines on the lane, they're the same.
What else did these people have in the comments here? There's a bunch.
Should we talk about high performance cookies?
The high performance cookie. Yeah.
There is an Open Nationals merch store. Sorry, Brad. Daryl's internet is catching up and then slows down.
I know.
Catching up and then slows down.
I got more people now in the house that seem to be on devices, so it is it's weaker. I could go upstairs, but I'm just going to stay in the basement in my cave. I'm almost into my house. Almost. How long has that been?
18 months. I feel bad for you, Daryl. I'm looking forward to you having.
Tim, are you reaching into like a Jello or something? Like all ears.
Jelly beans. Jelly beans. Come on,
Mister. I need to lose some weight and go on traction.
I can't wait for traction, man. That's gonna be the best thing in the world. Oh, yeah. Had a good thing with my chiro today. Good positive talks. Here we go.
Oh, Len. I know this is a great thing about the 5PL, but I can't see the C5 thinking this is a good idea.
What does this say? Have you ever looked at
So you mean like throwing like during the game so they're not coming in cold?
Oh.
Yeah, practice off to the side.
Issue number 1, there's centers that don't have enough lanes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. You're going to have nationals where you can do it, and then you're going to have nationals where you can't, and it's just that's not consistent.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Len? That was a pretty straightforward answer. Sometimes you have room, sometimes you don't. What are you going to do about it?
Do you know what the easiest way to fix that? Don't get pulled. Right? Be in the starting lineup. That's all I really understand. And I know Lenny's a team player, but I guarantee he's walking around keeping loose between balls. Like he normally is, yeah. I got told to me. Oh yeah, jelly beans, cholesterol will love that. Yeah, my test didn't come up good, so I guess that's what it is, so.
I disagree with that because I've been at nationals where you don't get to warm up until everyone's done. and there are lanes open.
And we've had provincials, and provincials next year will be like that too. Yeah. Our provincials will be held in GP next year. They have 12 lanes, which is just enough to host all the teams at once. So there'll be no warm-up lanes at all.
I think last time we were there, if a set of lanes finished up early, you started warm up there, and as long as it was on the same set, you were playing on the next time.
And I just want to say, Len, like I agree. I think there is merit to it. I do. I mean, we watched at seniors or at Masters Nationals one year in Thunder Bay. A bunch of seniors got injured because they didn't have warm up in between their lunch break. They were told there's no warm up, and they went straight into games right away afterwards, which is a bit of a different scenario. But that warm up can help old people like yourself.
Did you?
Then.
Yeah, there we go. I was just gonna say, did you call Len a senior citizen?
Oh,
They had
very much.
They had the Vegreville tournament out there, right? The bowl spiel, and apparently, like, I don't quote me on this, but apparently you had no warm up. So if your time started at 5:00, you threw your first ball at 5. And
you just got quoted.
Okay, I got quoted.
Yeah. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Len, and I agree. I think that the scheduling conflict of that could be tough. Yeah, I felt this, man. I felt this all last week.
You didn't have to warm up if you're not playing.
Oh no, I came in every once in a while.
Every 3 games.
Jeff Watts averaged 270, and he still felt it. So
yeah, he played great.
It ain't how many balls you throw, apparently.
Exactly.
Everyone just needs to talk to Adam Kemp or Madison Jenkins, because she was a beast off the bench. So whatever she does, everyone needs to do that.
A parlor game.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's, the sub thing, though. I mean, at the C5 and the open level, I'm not so sure about that. They could ever do that. Obviously, time, the lanes. That's why we have the 5PL. We changed it up and we added the rule into there that you can go and warm up and be ready to go. I don't see it happening or changing anytime soon for C5 for open.
And playing on the bench, I think it'd be like tough for me. Because I want to be in the trenches. I want to be there. I want to see everything that's going on. And for me to walk, 15 lanes over and go warm up and be completely disconnected as to what's going on with your team at that time.
Here's the other thing. Okay, so if you're going to go warm up, is it your choice or does the coach tell you to go warm up? Because if you're warming up and you see your team sucking or certain players sucking and you go warm up without the coach telling you,
I want to grab my balls.
Yeah, I want to grab my balls. You look like.
Fuck
right? It's like, man, I was like, okay, well, I guess he has no fucking faith in me, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Can you just do a couple of jumping jacks or a couple of stretches and lunges and then your body's warm? Do you really need to throw a ball to be warm? Right? Better start, stretching the hammies.
It is a big difference.
That's why somebody punches a head pin or miss in a corner, you let them throw the next ball or two, right?
Yeah.
I was telling Cody, one thing maybe he actually listened to me, which is good. But at the beginning of each game, he said he was a little bit stiff, right? Because he waited or whatever else. I said, what I always do is I always go take a practice slide on each of the lanes when I'm up there, just to get my legs in there, just before my first ball of each game. Because you could be sitting there, just as long as you get something like going, I find that more beneficial than anything.
Is this directed at us, Mike? Because
this was a question that came up on Hendo's podcast. Was what about like bandanas or ball caps or stuff like that at provincial or national events?
Okay, so obviously I'm a big hat guy.
What?
But
No.
What?
But I did find a razor that's really changed my life. But anyways,
Use code Dexter for 10% off.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, maybe Manscaped wants to advertise on here, and we can start ripping that.
That's
up.
right, exactly. Manscaped's for a different portion of the body.
It doesn't have to be. You can use it in the shower.
Look,
though.
I love ball caps, and I'm kind of understanding why we don't have them. It's a professionalism. But that being said, I do agree with what Jen said, and that was going to be my point. I think I'd be okay with ball caps if they were team ball caps. If everybody.
But then does everyone have to wear them?
Yes.
No.
Either everybody has to wear them or nobody wears them.
It'll be no different than the shorts and pants.
No, it is different. It's uniform. Like just being uniform with each other. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like saying like, okay, so in MLB, like you have to wear your socks underneath your pants, right? Lots of people wear them over top. You're not telling them they don't have to. That's a little bit different, but I think with a hat, like it's just so blatantly obvious that it needs
Curling
to be
allows
uniform if you're gonna do it.
Curling allows it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hats
we
for
had
some and not others, or is it have to be everyone?
You don't have to wear a hat, but your teammates can.
Okay.
Yeah. I know Schultz had a special exemption because of when he had his medical condition.
Yeah, Billy Thomas used to have the same thing too.
So I mean, it is doable. There's a point maybe where I can find. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Bold take here. I think hats will come in before shot clocks.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I think
I think it will come at some point in time, and I think if it's a team uniform thing. I mean, again, obviously 5PL. We could just list all the things that 5PL is doing different to accommodate every, but I do see it at some
except
point
for the
in time.
schedule.
Yeah, except for scheduling. We'll get to that, but I mean, I do see that happening at some point in time. Right? But here's Brad's note from a slow player guy. What does he got to say?
Brad, you played phenomenal. It was a good thing you weren't throwing 3 balls at a time.
But you have always been a slow play guy.
Yeah.
Not just now.
Yeah, no, you played great. We weren't going to say shit, but you definitely slowed down, pal. And that's okay.
I like that you commented on this, and yes, we did run a stopwatch on you 2 times, and they were both over a minute. So you take it for what it is. There's no rule against it, but our eyes are on you.
People don't.
if it's over a minute 30, he gets a haircut and shave, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Back to the caps. I also think like I like seeing them in tour, and like on tour and stuff. And that's just me personally. I know lots of people disagree with me completely, but we've talked a lot about showing personality in the game because that's what sells, and you see it in all sorts of the other sports as well. And for me, like, I've got a bazillion hats, and I'll just choose one day, and they're all just different. But I think especially if you're getting, like, personalized hats, because you don't want to get a trademark situation and stuff like that, too. But it is partly showing personality, too, and,
I think I would be okay with, like, hats on the lane, but, like, maybe not in your team photos or, like, when getting awards, something
for sure.
like that.
I agree with that, yeah.
But I think that's on the lanes, yeah.
So I get why people don't like wearing their uniforms to the banquet. I get it, but I also nothing frustrates me more or makes it look bad when you have Joe Blow off the street looks like and taking gold medal photos. And when you're talking about uniforms and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, uniforms have to be worn at closing ceremonies.
Yeah, at awards for sure.
Saskatchewan 5-pin doesn't do that. No, at the Open it was like everybody dresses up like whatever they want and they take photos. And nothing again. I'm not on it, but it's just not my thing.
If you go that way, then it has to be formal wear.
Yes.
And everyone's in a dress shirt, pants, ties.
Which I'd be okay with.
Dresses, blouses, like something like that.
Yeah.
Back to the hat thing. As a guy that might supply a couple of sets of uniforms across the country, I'm totally okay with people want to buy team hats now to support their zone or contingent or association. Just saying. So.
You know what? You might turn into a big hat guy here soon with the rest of us as well.
I wear lots of hats. I love my flat brims. Remember the no curve, right? Everybody out there loves my flat brim. They think it's the best thing ever, right?
It's not that bad until you just got to take the sticker off. You got to take the sticker off.
No, not for the first week.
Keep the sticker on.
Fuck.
I think, like, for team uniform, I don't see why you wouldn't allow it. The only thing I could ever see you run into issues is it gets hot, especially if you're playing a national in July. Like, wearing a ball cap in a bowling center without air conditioning, have fun.
Oh, I do it all the time. That's fine.
You've never played a national in a ball cap in a center in July. Don't lie to me.
Did you play Nebs this year?
In August?
Yeah, in August. Did you play that?
Yeah,
because like
air
I can
conditioned
tell
building.
you, there were parts of me that were far sweatier than my head ever was. I can promise you that. This probably kept the sweat out of my face.
Dexter, do you have a little red mark, a little nipple on your forehead?
It's a little tight. It's a little tight. So yeah, it's a little red.
Little nipple there. Len said anal.
He did. Yeah.
Do we need some custom breathable men's briefs?
So
Sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
I think uniforms, as long as it's uniform across the team, like team colors, whatever, I don't see a problem with it.
Mark, all
that's a good
that
point.
does is increase beer sales and sweat pad sales. I know what you're getting at. Moving on.
But an interesting point, though, right, for Miller, that a guy who throws a ball, you give him now an ammunition to grab something and chuck it, right? You're hoofing it like a golf club. You're chucking it into the pond on 17 that you're pissed off at because you're not going to break apart.
Daryl, that was 100% just a jab at me. I'm telling you, it was just a jab at me.
Yeah.
Because he did.
Did you? Well, but so you can defend that, but I think that's a valid argument about hats of why somebody wouldn't want hats because it gives it a tool to chuck. Shitty one, but it is.
Yeah. Jeff caught it all on video. Send that my way, Jeff.
I'm not like. I'm indifferent. I think I'm indifferent. I think that's the fairest thing.
I think but Tim, does it not make sense if it's uniform?
Yeah,
there's
that's
what is the point? Yeah, I don't see an argument against it. I'm
not against it. Right? It's like it's no different than maybe drinking and bowling. But that's tough because I know
how you regulate
stretch. Like I don't know how you didn't blow a hammy going for that stretch.
Or I don't have a glue, so
that's what it is.
Well, the Red Sox hats, fifth
but
place
if you
in
can
division.
drink, if you can drink and drinking is legal, can you do cannabis? Because cannabis is legal.
Right.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah.
Mike's comment about like the Norway curling team in their pants. Everyone loved seeing them. I don't know if everyone loved wearing them because Alberta tried that for YBC, and I can guarantee you it is not loved all around.
Calgary mixed wore it at Nationals loudmouth pants.
Yeah, as long as it's the same color as your provincial colors and everybody's uniform, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because Tom Stevenson was coaching that team. Yeah. It looked good. Like they were all in uniform. Looked really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those were like the Argyle ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we need to debate dress code too much. Podcast doesn't need to be in charge of dress code.
All they were asking is hats and headbands. I think it's a thing. Why not?
Well, hey, so wait, time out. Dex, you hear that, Dex? Kerry said headband's a thing. It's okay.
Team uniform, yeah.
So if he's single play, would that be a uniform?
Not on Tour Championship. Anyone else is good.
Nice.
There's beer.
Right, and it spilt his drink. That's right.
Yeah, and then he went and bought a pair of sweatpants.
And look at how fast Dexter was back up on the lane. Talk about shot clock.
That's right. It was probably the best throw I actually had that day.
But I think you guys all forget, if you all remember that tournament, Dexter was 16th. He had every right to be fast on the lanes.
Shouldn't that make me slower throwing the balls?
No, you just want to get over with.
Tim, were you 15th that year?
Yeah, I was. No. I was 15th the year Dexter won.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I was 15th the year Dexter won. So we good.
Kyle, we'll never let you wear a headband, but we'll keep trying.
I did wear Kyle's headband during some interviews for the tour finals.
Yeah.
I didn't have the balls to actually wear it during our match because Kerry was absolutely against me wearing a hat, and I get it. But I said, what about a headband? And he said, if you're going to wear a friggin' headband, go for it. And I was like, done.
So the only reason I'm against it for Tour Championship is we're trying to sell the sport, and you can't really see people's faces in the videos if they're wearing ball caps. I'm a big ball cap guy. I'd rather wear it all the time. But for selling the product, for all that, if the camera's in your face, ball caps off. But
I think our angles are good though, because our angles are kind of down a little, so it should catch most of the face.
We should probably get the angles up because that's better for our bowler's image.
Yeah, we look more athletic from the top.
So
yeah,
you guys don't allow drinking in there either in the videos.
We don't like showing the participants drinking. That's correct.
And labels.
I was the only one. I think I was the only one drinking at the tour finals in the pit. Nothing like gin and tonic. You can't see anything through a clear glass.
There's no rule against it. We just didn't want it on the video because if we're trying to sell it.
Yeah. Oh, it just looks like I was drinking water from the glass.
I'm just drinking a big glass of apple juice.
Yeah. Big glass of water. Yeah, that's all mine was.
You guys are just creating controversy where there was none. Let's move on.
Yeah. You can't forfeit a match now, Brad and Derek. Sucks to suck.
All right, what do we talk about next?
Let's talk about the 5PL. Let's get this
what should we talk about? The scheduling debacle that's going to happen, or the close finishes by majority of the teams?
Let's talk about close finishes first, right? Okay. Maybe let's bring up the schedule. We can tell who's out.
I have the standings here. Let's start with Cargill.
Let's start with Cargill. So basically, I think it's locked. Except for the only thing really
Carnage can get in.
Okay, Carnage can get in if they go sweep.
Correct.
For half a point. Yeah. And if we take nothing off Bombers. Right? So
well, no, they can catch Carnage.
Oh, okay.
Or Heartland, yeah.
They got an uphill battle.
They need to go 7 and 6.
Yeah.
Against Bombers and Dream Crushers.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be something though, eh? I mean,
honestly.
It can happen.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Robert already thinks it's rigged for our two teams, so wouldn't that be icing on the cake if we do get destroyed by Carnage and it knocks Heartland out? Like, maybe don't pick on the people that are running everything.
Yeah,
rigged?
maybe
rigged? Rigged? We're not playing at Bonnie, dude.
Hey, Daryl.
Whoa.
Daryl, okay, let's have a pact here, eh? If we lose and we beat you guys, we lose to Carnage, we beat you guys lose to Carnage on purpose. Don't even feel the team the last game and say, hey, Robert, take one of these, eh? Like, that's what I would be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's exactly what I would do. I got serious integrity. And I'm just going to say, here you go.
Yeah,
sure. No problem.
It's whatever. But I will say this here, okay? Panorama has struggled the last couple of seasons, the last 2 seasons, but they have Heartland's number. They beat them both times, and you know what?
Great.
You have one opportunity, and you screwed it. I mean, it happens.
Well,
right?
they're still in the playoffs.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah. They're still in the playoffs. You know, they're there, but Carnage certainly has a window there, and Carnage shouldn't lack any confidence because they're a quality team. I mean, they can come in and they can beat Dream Crushers, they can beat Bombers. We're not taking any game lightly for sure. We want to finish as high as we can, right? Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Shauna. But I heard a rumor that we were being called out for favoritism, so I don't take kindly to that because we worked our asses off on the schedule and to get everything arranged. There was an
LOL at the end of the comment, but still.
And all fairness,
the insinuation was there, just like Tim insinuates many things on this podcast. So I don't think we should, take too much offense to it.
It's Robert. If we have a chance to call out Robert, we're going to call out Robert. That's fine.
Shots were definitely thrown. So,
just win your match, Robert. Just win it. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, you know Calgary's going to come out flying. You know that they're going to be confident that they can do that. So
it's a good team, and you know what? I think they've not necessarily played up to their standard this year. And
you want to go back to that standings, Carrie? Let's analyze that a little bit if you don't mind. So obviously you got Carnage there in 12th. They're 32. They can go and get past Heartland, but Misfits, Dream Crushers, Eclipse, Bombers are fairly locked. I mean, obviously, or are clinched. But what position they finish in is totally up for grabs. obviously Bombers and Dream Crushers still play. Dream Crushers play Carnage in the first game, then Dream Crushers play Bombers. So it could be, depending on what the point differential there, is how much that game means. And then Bombers play Carnage the last game. So only 3 games in this division. Still a little bit of bragging rights and where they're going to get to. And, I certainly see Carnage getting a few points,
I have to say this, and don't take this the wrong way, but I had a little giggle, okay? Our good friend Sarah from Regina messaged me and said, she said, so Bombers lose on Sunday, or do we have a chance to get into playoffs? And I said, no.
You're already behind.
You're already behind. But you know what? I was really good about it.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah. Sure you can look at my message. Really I tried so hard. But I was really good about it, right? Regina's coming back next year, probably under a different name. Rebrand.
Yeah, Regina Revenged. I don't know.
I wish I'm there. I don't know. I will figure it out, right?
Reborn.
Plaid we came.
Plaid we came. Happy to be there. Happy to be here.
Jeez. Okay.
But anyway.
So only, like Daryl, you're saying, only 3 matches. Bombers and Dream Crushers are already in, just fighting for pole position, second in the division, and then Carnage looking at the last spot, which currently the Kingpins hold. So,
I mean, Misfits are going to be in the 2-3 hole because you have the Dream Crushers and Bombers playing. Points have to be spread out. One of us for sure is going to pass the Misfits, right?
I think both of us can pass the Misfits.
Well, both of us can pass them for sure, but at least guaranteed one. So that means that they're going to be into there.
Unless Calgary does do, as we say,
sweep
and
both
they,
of us.
and they go 7-7 or something, then.
But I'm saying that one of us we play each other, right? So Dream Crushers and Bombers play each other. So there's even if it's a 4-4 split, that gets Dream Crushers ahead of them.
Yeah. Well, unless we go like 6-2. Ooh, 6-2, no.
You're only.
Yeah, you're right.
You're only. Yeah.
Yeah, if you take 6, you're ahead. If you take 5, then we're ahead. Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
If you guys
so one of us for sure. Yeah.
Stupid tie.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I meant the tie in the game, not you, Ty.
I know what you meant, Carrie. Don't you worry. Well, I'll take my 8-2 win and I'll just leave the podcast. It's all good.
Fantasy sucks.
Let's look at the next division, Schwartz Home Built Hardware.
Do we have to?
And let's see how lucky Next Gen got last week. Because Next Gen was looking out after the first couple games, right? And then Snowman struggled, right? They could have had stranglehold and made Next Gen do something. But they didn't, and
Next Gen's not in.
No, but I mean they
have 2 matches.
But Mighty Plex is playing, so that's close. They're only 3 points back. They play Sleeping Giants, Minto's in. There is a chance that any of these teams can do it.
Yeah.
But it is in Next Gen's hands, really. So
Mighty Plex plays Lumberjacks and Next Gen. So Mighty Plex go 6-2. There's 47, and then if that's 6-2, that means that Next Gen's only at 40. So
they're
Next Gen
then ahead of Next Gen,
and Next Gen then playing Sleeping Giants. Sleeping Giants is still they're fighting for themselves too. They could go, 6-2, and they're into that 5th spot.
You know what?
Omens you're putting out there.
You know what? This how great would this be? Because if the Jags make the playoffs, it's like a phoenix coming up from the ashes, right? I think it's absolutely awesome, right? So, that being said, let's talk about Next Gen. Is everybody going to be there?
Jesus Christ, Tim.
I think we should circle back and talk about how it should be the Regina Phoenix coming out of the ashes. Let's just talk about that instead.
Yeah. That rebrand, I like that.
That division, though, that last game coming down to these last week is cool, guys. Lumberjacks, they obviously want to get a couple of wins. They move up in the standings and get a little bit of, weight under their belt. Minto, they've got a chance too. Sleeping Giants, Minto. Mighty Plex, Those teams,
what we
man,
wanted.
It's awesome. It's
what we wanted.
Certainly, next gen's the favorite going in for sure. But these other teams are hungry coming in and trying to go after you guys, right?
But how great is it? You're looking at it, and the tied for 10th team still have a chance going to last week.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
We never thought that would happen, right? I thought the parity in the divisions, obviously the other one's a little bit more spread out, but this is awesome, and we know Quebec is a great team.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Quebec's no slouch. It's
Well, we say it every time, but you have to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't play well this year.
And that's the funny thing is that, when we looked at the divisions halfway through the season, it was the Cargill division. Oh, no.
Hey, can we give out 5PU ribbons? I mean, that might be an option.
Oh, for sure.
BPG loves it. If a team rebrands every year, that's just money in the bank, baby. But yeah, it was our division that was like really even across the board, and then all of a sudden, the last 6 weeks or so, it really dramatically changed.
The Mayhem are clinched first in that division.
Yeah.
And then somebody else, sorry, throw that one back up. They're clinched into the 4-5 hole.
Newfoundland, I think.
Newfoundland.
Hold on.
Newfoundland's clinched into 4-5.
Maybe.
Next gen, when you guys faced Motor City, who won?
Motor City.
Okay,
6-2.
so they have clinched yet. Because you could have gone 8-8.
That would still only get them to 54. I did that math earlier wrong, too.
No, next gen's got 30. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep.
Wow.
You are correct. I agree.
Wow.
Barker and I already had that, and I said, "Well, you guys could tie," and he's like, "No, we can't." So
if there's somebody paying attention, is Barker, right?
Oh yeah, he's on.
I mean, that in Skydome, he knows his stuff, right? So.
Yeah.
And yes, Bill Brooks, we could just switch it up and make 6 playoffs. I mean, it's really whatever benefits the Dream Crushers and Bombers, but we're already in the playoffs, so we won't change anything at this point. Let's.
If they want, they could show up and play 5th in like a warm up game so that they're ready to go.
An exhibition match.
Yeah.
I mean, but that team's probably already disbanded and are looking for new teams. It's been a while since they played last, right? So. Yeah.
So we can't chat about the
Pretty
two.
Sure they still
the two,
beat
obviously.
the Dream Crushers, though, didn't they?
They did. In fact, that was
the
their
only
one
team
loss
to so far.
Seems like they're better than someone.
No.
Oh no.
Stand and say no.
You know
Sorry,
what? Yeah, we're just helping out for the league. That's all we were doing, right?
Give me a little bit of hope to come back.
Yeah.
Daryl, you were saying?
Yeah, so I guess there was 2 comments that we made in our private 5PL group today about A, the playoff format, and then B, for next year. So we'll talk about playoff format for right now. We originally had the date scheduled as May 7th, and then looked at changing to maybe the May 6th, the Saturday. Honestly, at this point in time, I have no fucking idea when we're going to run playoffs. There's many complications at many centers on that 6th, 7th. So there's tournament masters. There's an NBT event in Newfoundland. Talking with Shane Chafe, they're willing to work with it and kind of do something if they need to. But Nebs has issues.
And
His
while we wait
internet
for
has
the
issues.
internet, we're gonna make a commitment that the 2022-2023 Pro League season will be completed in 2023. It just might be a little bit later. That's the summary.
I think
Ty is our PR person.
Wow,
I think-
Gerald's really gone, isn't he?
his system needs a little Viagra, a little boost up, right? So, but
Slap and tickle.
maybe
Jesus.
maybe what we got to do is I know we looked at Saturdays, Sundays. We looked at I don't want this to carry over for the whole summer. It's not like people are busy. People have other things on the go.
Yeah.
Maybe I know Daryl's probably looked at all the efforts, but I'm willing to do like a weekday. Like let's do a weekday.
We're basically once we find out. Sorry, I got cut off there. Once we figure out who's in the playoffs, we have to be a bit flexible. We've got YBC Nationals. We don't want to interfere necessarily with their audience. There's a respect level there. We know that other places have masters. We know that people have things. So I don't know, guys. I don't know the answer until we know who's in the playoffs. We start talking to all the teams. We'll have to just figure it out. We're the new guys on the block. we don't. Obviously, we're coming in hot. We're super popular, but at the same time, we have to be respectful of where we're at, right? So we'll figure it out. I don't know when what that answer is going to be, and when we play. We're just going to figure it out. So
Yeah.
I don't really want to piece it out like we did 8-gamer and go 1 game here, 1 game there. That's not ideal. If we have to move it to June, where the entire playoffs gets done in 1 weekend on a Saturday and a Sunday, that's an option. I don't know where we're at, so we may. I can't tell you right now. It's tough. It's not fun, but we'll figure it out.
I think moving forward, I think we got to have blackout dates somehow for next season. Try our best. I also think maybe it's all really up to the associations trying to get all the scheduling in, first of all. But I would like to have schedules in by August 1st, and we can also start a week or 2 early, right? I mean, so we're not waiting until the end of September. We can start our first week in October. We can start maybe a couple weeks early, and then we can have it finished by April, right? I know we talked about we had to figure out some things with the schedule, how many teams we can have, because the back end makes it clog and slow down a little bit. One thing that we tried didn't work was when centers with multiple teams were playing, we try to play them at the same time, so the center is booked at only 1 day instead of multiple days. That has to change. There's a couple changes on our end that we have to make, but I think really we have to figure a way for our playoffs to be done by much earlier than they are already. And I think we all need a little bit of help from everybody, I think, on that aspect.
Yeah. I think ideally, like this league, you kind of want to run it during league season, right? You don't want to overrun it or start before it. I think kind of fit in the middle would be perfect, but
bowling already doesn't have a season. We don't need to make it worse.
Yeah. Most of the weeks this year, we ended up doing 3 games per week. And we've proved here later on that we can do 4 games and now maybe 5. 5 is almost too many, so we may have to. That's for next year. But the original topic, obviously, being the playoffs. Let's finish this week on a high note, get the teams into the playoffs, and we'll figure out what works for everybody. You have to do the 4th and 5th game first, and then the winner of that plays the first overall, and then the 2-3 game plays the following week, because then that semifinal against that first place. So there's an order of things that we have to go in order to get to the end. We'll just have to figure it out. Unfortunately, it's kind of it's tough because every province has Masters or they have Open, but they're all on different dates. Yeah. We're a league that's countrywide. We're coming from Vancouver Island to Newfoundland, and everybody has a shit ton of tournaments in between, and everybody's having more tournaments because the competitive bowling side of things is getting more popular. Yeah. Look at the number of tournaments that have been added this year. We've got the Beef Bowl, right? You've got the Ladies Classic. You've got how many other tournaments are trying to come in and get a piece of the pie? It gets pretty congested in there. So,
I just don't know where we're going to saturation, right? That's what I worry about. But So we'll try our best. I think we meet up with the 10 teams afterwards. It helps that I think 4 of them are going to be from Edmonton. so we have a little bit more wiggle room and a couple more from Alberta. I think we're going to make it work somehow, but we got to have some wiggle room on both ends. Yeah. Because we don't want this to last forever.
Teams are being respectful, and they get it too. They get how much work it is, and everybody I've been talking to today or anytime, they know that organizing the schedule is a lot of work, and they know that they're going to have to work with us on doing it. But like you said, Tim, for next year, this is a challenge to all the associations and all the people to get their schedules out as early as possible so that we can work around it. You can't be in January and booking your Masters in March. That's not acceptable. You can't. You got to be August, like you said. People should be August good 1st. Enough now knowing this. Yeah. The competitive level, they need to know when they want to play because this is an avenue that people want to play.
Yeah, we're the ones working around these associations. So the faster they can get their stuff done, the easier it is on us. Yeah. We're not asking them to move their weekends, right? So let's hope that they step up and they're willing to help facilitate the other associations that are also involved in the sport, right?
Yeah. We're being respectful by not, stepping on anybody's toes, but we just ask to have the same respect back. So then,
and we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to work, right? We'll continue to get there.
Sam, I do agree on it. I think honestly, big events like your Masters or the Open or the cash events, I do agree on that. There is a little bit of a tough end on our end, because if it doesn't work in Alberta, we have a lot of things that we do on our end. Could we run the 5PU? Sometimes that puts in conflict. I mean, like, if we're all playing, nobody's there to help the back room a little bit. So maybe that's
Especially
something we got to look at. Yeah. But that being said, what I think is people have to remind, if you have 8-player teams, 8 players. So if you only have 5 or 6, they're able to come
play.
You can still play. So
if
don't
there is
block that out.
anything Next Gen has proven, it is that you do not need all 8.
That's right.
And a coach.
We have a coach. She's almost always there. I think she's missed one day.
She actually been up to Edmonton?
No, but
there we
on
go.
FaceTime.
Okay.
She's still there. She's just not.
She's on location.
Yeah, technically, you can just mute, and be like, Brad, you're not pulled. You're good.
Oh no, it's like turn the volume up, Brad, you're out.
Anyways, I think this year's gone splendidly well.
Yes.
We haven't really had a whole lot of complications with scheduling, adjustments. But I mean, we put the schedule out early. It was a big time for you, Tim, to actually make it, and we've stuck to it, and it's gone really, really well. We're just know now that we're in the playoffs, and we always knew this at the beginning, is that once we get to playoffs, it could be a cluster, and here we are, right? We're not at all surprised.
I do like the idea of doing 4-player game, or if not 4-player games, 4 games a week. I do that would save us a lot of hassle right away, and it also doubles up a lot of matches too. So you'll see less in 1-game weeks for teams. You'll see more 2-game weeks.
I think it'd be
Here the
best.
MLB is trying to make their shows 2 hours. We're trying to make our shows 4 hours.
Yeah,
It's about getting the games in.
There's going to be a gap in the airtime somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. We tried Sunday mornings. It seems to be working out. Not too many people go to church anymore.
Yeah. Hey, this is the first year of going to 24 teams. This is the first year of going to 24 teams, and it's gone pretty darn good. Which leads us to the next conversation that we were having in the Pro League chat, is that what does it look like next year?
We're expanding, guys.
Yeah.
12 more. Let's go.
Yeah.
you heard it here first.
Wow.
You heard it here. It's official. We're staying with 24 teams. We're staying with the same franchise fee. Everything is status quo for next year. We have to build and prove the sustainability of this league. So it's still 24 teams. The first right of refusal goes to the existing franchises for this year. So if you were playing this year and you want in next year, you need to reach out to the commission. You need to let them know your intention. We don't have a deadline right now on what that intention is, but just so you know, you have the first right of refusal. We're not adding new teams for next year unless a team drops out for this year. So we've had a handful of teams that have asked, that inquired, that say they've got 270 average bowlers. I got a guy that's averaging 295. We want in. I get it. We're not allowing you in until there's a team that drops out. We have to prove the concept, and we're doing that, but we have to hold 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But that being said, definitely reach out and put in your submissions, knowing that that's the case, just in case we do a backup and stuff like that too.
And for those people who say you have 290 averages or blah blah blah, we
Not
know a lot
everybody
of
plays
people.
at mountain lanes.
We play. We know a lot of people, right? We do our background check, so don't be bullshitting us, because we know.
And we'd be in a great place to expand, but I mean, there's significant things that would need to be. I mean, there's a employee at that point by going to the amount of time that us back end guys and doing the live streams. My graphic designer, the stats guy on a Monday spends half a day on a Monday every Monday doing stats. Like, this is. They're not getting paid for it. Well, they are getting paid for it, but they're not, right? Like, this has to be something, something would have to change drastically in order to have a bigger league. So we got to stick with 24 for now.
I think from the back end side too, Daryl, before you build on your conversation here, is there will be significant questions asked of the teams that ran this year and didn't have equipment up, didn't have stuff was subpar. We'll be asking you to make those upgrades and make sure that we have quality streams, because it all does rely on the teams giving us the feeds first.
Yeah,
we can do best we can, right?
Let's say nobody really missed a match except for average pros this year.
That's
right.
right.
Nobody missed a match. Everybody average pros. Obviously, I saw.
But they got the best cameras.
They do.
Snowman setup wasn't that great. It was funny though. Next gen's absolutely atrocious. I was watching something there. I was like, how is that even a thing?
They were using a shoe to hold their camera up. They were.
Yeah, Snowman. Yeah.
No.
Next gen.
Next gen.
Oh, Snowman too.
Improvised, we MacGyvered, and you got a show.
We got a show.
No.
That the 1,000 show? I think
it was 1,000
It
show.
sure was.
Not much of a show there.
It's the best kind of show. Your dream team absolutely trashed it. Do you know how many memes you can make out of that?
Oh, there'll be a few.
We don't make memes.
Not
You just
anymore.
are a meme, Dexter.
No
It's
memes.
fine.
We just need to nail down some rules for next year too. There's certain things, like certain rumblings of things that are just like, we didn't have a rule for, we don't have a rule for, but it just kind of goes against the integrity of the league. Certain things, there was rumblings of people talking about, sitting regular players so they could bring in emergency spares, and that didn't happen. Just so everybody knows, that didn't happen, but that's really against the integrity of what the league needs to be. And I really think that if that is a situation, there needs to be a fine base of some sort. And if you're going to be sitting players if you're going to be sitting players to bring in ringers, you're going to get point reductions.
You gotta. The rule book will certainly grow for next year, right?
It's the whole concept of like, there's never a sign for it until it happens. Like when you see those ridiculous signs, it's like, don't poop in the woods. There's a sign because it happened. We can't make the rule until it happens.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Cindy's comment because I think we all know how Robert's vision is watching his live feed. How blurry and out of sync it is. That is how Robert sees the world. So we can't be knocking on Heartland Bowl.
There will be a league meeting. We did one prior to last year. I think it was a Zoom call or whatever, but we will be doing a large one again.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do a survey and a big meeting. For sure we will.
Yeah.
Yep. But there was another comment about relegation earlier up there about a second division. That's the plan for next year. So there will be a relegation tournament at the end of next year where you'd have a situation where the bottom two teams in each division will likely go into a relegation tournament, and then you would have to, play your way in or play your way out type of thing. So there's no plan for automatic relegation this year, but next year it's definitely in the works of what that looks like because there's teams that want in, right? And people have to respect that teams that want in, that you got to play you got to earn your spot. So if you're not top 10, then you're out. So,
Mitch, not all quality players are all playing on a league. Not all of them. It happens. It didn't happen, but they thought about it.
But what are you telling your team? Hey, by the way, you're not
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking
at this guy.
I'm looking at you, Dunas. I'm looking at you, Dunas. I'm looking at you. Yeah, no.
To be fair, I wouldn't be hurt if the Dream Crushers asked me to stay home because I'm 215 and get a 260 player in. Like, I wouldn't be hurt by that.
Yeah, let's just sit, a quarter of our, like a 20% of our Masters team. That'd be a great idea. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. Tell 3 guys you can't play. Actually, 4 guys. So we need to bring in a 5th.
I do want to bring this up because I know Oilers game is going to start in 10 minutes, but I don't know what happened with Scott Hawka, but Scott Hawka actually gets commentary. He texted me and said, "How do I get in?" He's begging me. I was like, "You got to talk to Daryl," because I think he just wants to belong, and so I'm glad you gave him the olive branch there, bud. I'm glad, DP.
He's in.
I know, but
he's
he
in
got to
because
ask.
him and I got to have a little chat. So I'll let him I'll let him commentate so that. Give him something so that he's going to have to give me something. We'll get there, bud.
Hey, Haka, you made it on a podcast. It's a comment, but you made it.
While Mitch is sitting here in the back, just want to send a congratulations to Craig Arand on his perfect game today.
Oh, he did throw it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was great.
Apparently 3 days after the birth of his first
And apparently,
child.
I saw Mitch's comment. He just had a baby.
Yeah. And like...
Crazy.
I knowing Mitch, I'm just not sure if that's like I mean, obviously congratulations on the baby. I don't know whether that's like an inside joke or not too, because it was like that was posted everywhere about 3 days after his child, and I'm just like, I don't know if there's a joke in there or what that is, but
I don't know.
Congratulations to on the perfect game and on the birth of your child. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. Yeah. But Mitch's
really
camera, I did make that comment. I did make that comment about Mitch's camera because he's like, "Oh shit, I zoomed in. I can't zoom out. Oh fuck it." if you listen to,
listening to it.
Oh Jesus, he's like, "Hey, I think we're good anyway. Screw it."
Audio's on, bud.
Audio is on. Yeah, it was good. And he's so relaxed. It's good for him. You always like seeing somebody throw perfect.
Yeah, his reaction at the end was like so nonchalant.
Well, when you're that good,
Right.
Yeah, well, I guess.
I'm
not that good, so
the other big question is, why is Mitch playing Spring League? Who plays Spring League?
it's a spring league.
It's a Spring League. Guarantee you it is.
How does spring league start already? What the hell's going on?
It's Ontario.
No.
They're different.
And it's in the spring.
For sure, it's Spring League. 100% it is. 100% it is. Because Mitch doesn't play that. Oh, it's a regular.
Do you want me
league.
to do this with audio?
Yeah, do it with audio.
Do it with audio? All right. Oh, it was with audio. Look at me go.
Is this going to take a while, or?
And yet, shout out to Megan Clark, who bowled 3 days before the birth of her
Wow.
child. Haven't been brave enough to go back yet, but playoffs coming up, Megan.
Get ready.
That is truly the difference between being a guy and being a woman.
Yeah. Tim, it's a regular league, not a spring league.
He's gonna play Spring League, guarantee you. He's a gamer. Loser.
Is this number 11? Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching the video off to the side and didn't realize I wasn't sharing it.
Oh, okay. That's why I asked, is this going to take a while?
And Brad, please take note how fast he is between shots. Yeah. Amen, brother. Don't worry, Mitch. I'll say it again. Loser.
Oh, no.
Much love, little buddy.
Well, considering I don't think that's where he was trying to throw it, but he was happy with it.
Yeah, just so nonchalant.
Looks like a nice center. I don't know which one that is, actually.
Mitch will tell
He looks
us.
full of energy
Yeah.
after no
full of
sleep.
it.
This is week 31 of a 32-week league, probably. He's probably like, I'm over this. Perfect game's nice, but I'm over. Echo. There you go.
Echo. Oh, Brantford. Nice. Okay. Nice center.
Any other 5PL stuff we want to touch on?
Go
No,
Crushers.
Okay, maybe we haven't looked at stats quickly, but maybe any MVPs sticking out right now for you before we go last week, or we want to talk about that next week?
I don't have the stats queued up.
I don't have the stats queued up either, what those are looking like.
Oh, 1-0 Oilers.
Holy
It is 1-0
fuck.
Oilers.
You know, my initial thoughts
Ryan,
that I know
Goldfish.
from stats would be probably a Bradley Ticket, honestly. Has a pretty high average and point production up there. would certainly be considering. But seeing as they're not in the playoffs, I'm not sure if it's even worth anything or not. You got Connie Ward from the Mayhem.
Yeah.
There's a few people I'd have to look it up again to sort of ramble on a few, but there's definitely a few.
Okay. And which team is the most surprising, or you're happy to see how well they did, or which team is the one that you thought might be a little bit better?
Well, Lumberjacks, I think, is the obvious answer. I picked them to probably win the league. Honestly, that's a phenomenal team. So I'm surprised to see where they're at. I would be surprised to see them in that position again next year. That's for sure. As for surprised at how well they did, Regina.
They did way better. There we go. That's a boy, eh? Look at that. Eat that out there. Dream Crusher.
Couple of surprises for me, guys, would be Misfits. I knew that they're a good team, and obviously we play with them here local in Edmonton. I'm a little bit surprised that they're sitting top of the standings right now. Okanagan Eclipse as well. Again, new team, but they travel a long way, and but solid team there. So a little bit surprised, but not surprised, kind of thing. And Holy Rollers. Again, comment here that these guys are probably the hardest working players from a zone as a group out of anybody across the country that have worked and worked and worked and worked on their game to get to where they are. Monkey or not, they're still throwing shots and throwing well and scoring real well. That they're a force for sure. On the lower side, there's a few teams that haven't made it, but there's only 5 teams that can make it. So I could go through every one of them and kind of put them where they lie. But there's my few that stand out.
I'm happy for the Jags. I'm happy.
I am too. Yeah.
And actually, I will say this: I harp on them all the time, but Average Pros, much better than I thought they were going to be in the standings. I thought they could compete, but I didn't think they would be that high up at this late.
And if you wanted to talk about hard-working team, that's one of them. They're still holding practices, for Christ's sakes.
They but here's the thing: so strong too. I like that. That's got to be a huge confidence boost for that team.
And they missed a lot of close matches. You think about it, they could easily flip. And I think that's an experience. I think next year they could be better. I don't want Henry to be like, oh my God, he's actually being nice. I'm not trying to be, but it's just the honest truth there. Yeah.
I'll throw it though. Average Pros are going to finish 11th place, right? So I know it looks like in the standings that they're not bad in 7th place, but there's 4 teams that are below them that still have 2 games to go, and all they need is 3 or 4 points. So yes, it certainly looks good, and there's the parity in the league that 12th through 7th or 8th are all going to be within 4 or 5 points, but Average Pros are still going to end up 10th or 11th in their division.
Yeah, and they're the only team that threw a gutter ball. It happens.
There is still a lot of games to bowl, Tim.
A gutter ball, yeah. Sorry, Doss, but yeah.
Don't apologize for things you are not sorry for.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry for a lot of things, right? So, what did McGregor say? Yeah. I apologize for absolutely nothing.
I'd like to apologize to absolutely no one.
Yeah.
I think there's a bunch of these teams that are going to get over 40 points. Right, potentially. There's Mighty Plex, Leaping Giants, Minto, and Quebec all have 2 games left. They potentially could all get over 40 points. Obviously they have to split points with each other, but if they go, a split to a 1-1, they're all over 40, which is shit. That's very respectable. You got to think that 50% of your points is 44 points. So if you're getting close to 40, you're damn near 500. And all you needed to do was be just above that to 48 points to get it. So that's parity, man. That's super close.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm glad that we're ending up for sure. Absolutely. Nobody's getting blown away. Nobody's got 10 points on the board. Nobody's really stunk it up that bad. And even in the other side, there's teams that are at 35, 33. Fraser Valley Venom. You would have thought that they'd probably be a little bit higher, but man, they had a couple of shitty finishes that put them into that position. Mad Hatters, I'm glad for them to get that 7 win against Heartland. Obviously it sucks for Heartland, but to go 7-1, they get up into that 35 points, which isn't a terrible spot to be in.
Yeah.
So it's good where we ended up for sure.
Yeah. I just want to comment on Jason. I know he follows the podcast and the 5PL quite a bit. Obviously not next year, but there will be relegation in the following season. So if you start getting your team together and start building it, you never know. You get into that relegation tournament and you might be in the league 2 years from now. So,
and there may be teams that don't want back in for whatever reason. I honestly don't foresee it happening. But if out of 24, maybe there's 1 or 2. So we'll have to figure out how do we offer a new spot to the new 6 or 8 teams who want in. It's going to have to be a blow-off.
A what?
Get that camera. Get that up. Get that. Oh, I gotta make that a GIF. Oh,
you are a true commish now, eh?
Yes.
You want in?
Yeah. Delegate a player on your team.
blow off.
Yeah. What do we do? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
that's
awesome. My teams will put out after this weekend a mandatory reply date for when you want your intention for next year, and it's going to be somewhere around mid May, right? End somewhere even earlier. Like, yeah. Sorry, no team. Better talk to Ryan O'Callahan then.
Oh, you know what? Hey, speaking of that, that's how Scott got on commentary. Here we go.
I think it's a good time to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Oilers, so.
Let's go. Yeah.
That's a high note. We're good.
Yeah.
So ladies podcast next week. They had to move this week, but we're happy. We had almost 60 viewers this whole time. That's fantastic for a debate night that actually didn't really go off the rails till Daryl asked people to blow him. So.
You want in?
An hour and a half in, that's pretty good, actually.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
And for everybody who knows, I lost the first week in fantasy to Katie. The second week to Ty. Daryl's going to be next. I'll lose to him. And hopefully I just don't finish last.
Against Daryl right now.
Oh. You're 7-1 against me? Oh, well. All I needed is to be in top 10, guys. I don't need to be first overall. I just need top 10. So.
That's all I'm hoping for at this point.
I'm making a comeback this week. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, good job,
yes,
Tim. Dead last.
Jen Baldwin is feverishly promoting the Open Nationals merchandise store. Open Nationals in Edmonton. Super excited to have everybody come out to Edmonton. Merchandise, pre-order it. We're not going to have a lot of stuff sitting around at the end. So please pre-order your merch, get some memorabilia, and we'll have it all ready for you here when you come here. So
super excited for it, guys. It's going to be a really good time.
We're going to have we're looking to, our theme is to put on the best national championship that you've ever been to. That's our goal. And we're looking at everything that we're doing about it is going to be top notch.
Yeah.
Don't sell it too high, Daryl, because if we blow it,
yeah. even if you don't have two beds in your room and you absolutely have to, don't worry. Alberta will take pull-out coaches. We're good.
Come with very low expectations and be surprised. Fast Kathy and I are amazing at baseball. That's my last comment for the night. Thank you.
Katie is currently second last in the league.
But she's Fat Kathy, and she beat Carrie, so she's faster than Carrie.
No, I'm well, technically I think we're tied at the moment,
but she beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're using live standings with this week included, Katie's last.
Ooh.
I don't even have that on my cell phone. I only use it on my computer, and I haven't changed my lineup like 4 times. You guys need to help me out in this. Yeah.
No, we don't need to help you out. We gave you an option. Now it sucks to suck.
Oh, okay. So. I'm on my own, eh? Okay.
But you know what? If somebody's on IR, you could put them in your IR spot.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that information.
Just so you know.
Just a heads up.
The more you know.
All right.
Okay, we're going to end this podcast. See you guys this Sunday at the 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Bye.
Let's go.
See you.
Bye.
See you.